What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going in depth into my budget GK61 / Asceny 160% mechanical keyboard. But before we get too far into the video, if you guys haven't already gone ahead and like this video and also subscribe to the channel, please go ahead and do so. I would really appreciate it. People have been asking me on TikTok, by the way, if you guys want to go follow me on TikTok, it'll pop up on screen. I've been trying to be a little bit more active over there. People have been asking me over there on Instagram, on Twitter, pretty much everywhere I post this, like about the keycaps, about the switches, about the actual keyboard itself, and pretty much like all the modifications I've done to this keyboard as well. So I'm here to answer all of those questions in this video. I'm going to give you guys in detail all the modifications that I've made to this keyboard, as well as that where I got the spacebar, where I got the keycaps. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into today's video. So first, I'm going to break down the keyboard. I'm going to break down basically like the keycaps and some like the extra stuff first. So this is actually an Asceny 160% keyboard, and the way you guys can tell this is on the back side. As you guys can see here, it's branded Asceny. Now the reason the title of this video is actually Asceny 160% / GK61 is because this Asceny keyboard actually shares the same PCB as the GK61 would. So essentially, like, it is the same keyboard really. The Asceny board does come in at $64.99, while the GK61 does come in at $59.99. So the Asceny board is $5 more, but you also get like custom Asceny keycaps, and you also get some other extra stuff. So it really only is $5, and that's why I paid the extra $5, because I did have some other Asceny products at the time, and I just figured why not spend the extra $5 to get some cool stuff from a cool company as well. So if you guys are on the really budget side, I would recommend just going and scooping up the GK61. They both pretty much have like the same switch options when you do buy them from Amazon, as well as that they are both hot swappable with optical switches, so you're going to be able to put any optical switch you want in here. I actually got this keyboard stock with Gateron optical blue switches, and I literally switched them out like a week after with Gateron optical clear switches because the blue and clicky switches were just too loud for me when I was streaming. And for a lot of you guys asking me in my last video about Gateron clear switches and people telling me that like Gateron clear switches don't exist, I'll have a link to them in the description, and you guys can find lots of other videos on the YouTube platform here about Gateron clear switches. They're pretty much like yellows, but they have a lighter actuation force. So Gateron clears are pretty much like, as far as I know, ultra lightweight linear switches. So I pretty much just wanted like a linear experience because I'd only used like Gateron browns and blues at the time. So as you guys can see on screen, I'm sure I'll toss some video up for you guys to see, but I actually did put all the Gateron clear switches into this keyboard instead of the Gateron blues, and I also lubed these switches, so that's kind of like the beginning of the modifications that I made to this board. Lubing your switches makes the world of a difference. I'm sure if you guys have lubed any of your switches, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. It makes such a difference just as far as like feel, as far as like the sound. So before we get too far into the other modifications that I've done to this board, I wanted to go over the keycaps and the spacebar that you guys literally ask me all the time where I got these. As you guys can see here, if we look on the board, we got the Matrix logo down here. This is actually the Blizzard keycap set from Matrix Keyboards. By the way, use code ICE if you guys do want to get a small discount and want to support me. I'd really appreciate it, but Matrix literally has one of the best double shot PVT shine through keycaps on the market, and I am not capping, guys. Seriously, they are the best feeling keycaps that I've used personally. The keycaps are probably not going to be a good choice for any of you guys on a budget. They do come in at about like $40 to $45 for one set, and my discount's only like 10%, so it's probably only going to bring it down to like $35 to $40. But again, I really do think they are one of the best quality keycap sets that you guys can find right now. As well as that, I mean, they're so aesthetic, guys. Like even with this spacebar as well that I got from Matrix Keyboards. But yeah, just super cool colors with the matching spacebar. Like I just don't think like it really gets much better than this. So before I get too far into the rest of the modifications, I just wanted to explain to you guys why I think the GK61 is the best option for a budget keyboard right now. So as I mentioned before, this keyboard comes in at either $60 to $65, and personally I think this is just the best price range to be looking at to get a budget mechanical keyboard right now. I just think if you spend more than $60, like the $70 to $80 range, you're really not getting much more than this. And if you spend lower from that $50 to $40 range, you're losing a lot of the extra stuff that I really think makes a mechanical keyboard what it is. You're going to lose the hot swap feature. You're probably going to lose the Gateron switches. You're going to be having to use some other kind of mechanical switch. And I just feel like you're losing all of the customizability, like the detachable USB-C cable as well. So this is like the perfect price range for you guys to get started, and it literally offers so much customizability as well. So if we get a little bit into the modifications that I've actually made to this keyboard in specific, other than changing out the keycaps and lubing the switches, the enter and shift key and even the spacebar all have stabilizers, as you guys know. So the longer keys do need like to be stabilized on either side. So what I actually did was I took out all of these stabilizers on these keys and the spacebar and the shift shift, I believe, and the caps lock as well. I can't remember if the caps lock has one or not. I don't think it does actually, but I know definitely the shift bar and the space bars. I actually took these stabilizers out. I re-lubed them, cleaned them because the factory job was just not good. I also did a band-aid mod. And by the way, if you guys want a tutorial on a lot of these mods that I did, let me know in the comment section down below. But I pretty much did every single mod that I could possible, like re-lubing all the stabilizers. I also clipped the stabs as well. So I've literally done everything to make this board sound as good as it can. And honestly, like with the keycaps combined with the lube switches, as well as band-aid modding and just fixing all the stabilizer problems that I could. And I'll give you guys a sound test first of all of this keyboard without any of the switches lubed and with no modifications. And then I will give you guys a sound test right after that of this keyboard with all of the modifications and lubed Gateron clear switches and pretty much everything else in this board. And yeah, let's jump into the sound test.
This house is not staged. Adam, you Adam lives here, so artwork is unique. I've never seen this piece of before. So you mean there's not going to be a gap next to some wireless miking or a motion?
Alright, so as you guys could probably tell from this sound test, this keyboard is actually absolutely amazing now. I think people are really underestimating budget keyboards out there these days, and I feel like with just the amount of customizability and the amount of stuff you guys can do this keyboard, I just don't realistically see why you would spend anything more than like $60 for a keyboard. Granted, I think the one problem with this keyboard is that you can't put any other switches other than optical switches in here. I think that's probably like the one thing you're losing out on, but I also do have another keyboard coming in the mail soon, and it's pretty much like $20 to $30 more than this keyboard. Actually, I think it's only like 20, and it's going to be like the best budget keyboard, but also the budget keyboard that you can put like 3 or 5 pin switches in. So that video is going to be super cool, so make sure you guys have notifications on so you guys know when my future videos do go live. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up the video. If you guys have any questions about this keyboard, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have questions about the switches or maybe questions about other things or where I got things, just go ahead and drop a comment. I usually reply to pretty much all the comments on my videos, so feel free to drop a question down below. And yeah, I will have everything linked in the description, to the keyboard, to the keycaps, to like even the cables that I had during like my typing tests and everything that I use with this keyboard. I appreciate you guys' support. I will catch you guys in the next video on the channel. Thank you for watching. Peace out.